is my temple. Your tears rinse my feet. I walk out, I'm able to carry your peace. It reminds me of a song that I heard long ago. Maybe I've always known that you were right there. A simple melody playing over and over in my dreams. Somehow out of reach, eluding me until I release. You come close to me when I release, and I let you take the lead when I release. My heart starts to see when I release. When I release, you said, come to my garden, eat from my tree, step in my river, let it take you deep. Your heart is my temple, your tears rinse my feet. You walk out, you're able to carry my peace. It's an ancient sound heard from the ones who came before. Now it's here once more to pierce your soul. A simple melody playing over and over in your streets, like a whirlwind burning things, tearing down the dark. That's where I release.
Yes, sir. Let it all go. We are live. What's up, everybody? Shout out to everybody in the chat. We're in the building. We're going to talk about some stuff going on in the world today. We got a lot going on over in China. We got a lot going on in this country. But yeah, we're going to get into it. Thank you guys for tuning in already. Shout out to everybody in the chat who's already put a comment in there. If you're in there right now, hit that like button, hit that share button, throw a comment in to say what's up. You're watching Young Lion TV.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, won't you get up and start fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding.
Yes, sir. Young Lion TV is in effect Tuesday night. We're in the building. You're watching us live at True Sound Studios. I got Stan with me. I got Jake with me. I got Rachel over there producing. Moan is not here tonight. His son is sick, so shout out to Moan. I saw him in there watching though. Shout out to our brother Moan.
What up?
Oh, he said, "What up, guys? What's up, brother? Hope Snowy is feeling better." Shout out to everybody in the chat. George, Mom, Lena, Stephanie, Emma in there said what's up. Tamika. Yeah, if you're in there right now, please just hit the like button, hit that share button, let everybody know that we are live right now and we're going to be talking about, stuff like we usually do. We like to get into some deep conversation here. We get into some spiritual stuff. We get into some, sometimes we crack a little jokes and we just have a little fun. But yeah, it's a lot going on, so it's a lot to talk about. But before we get into it, we need you guys to support if you want to, get on board with what we're doing. If you want to become a part of the Young Lion Nation, the kingdom, the pride of the Young Lions, you can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/Young Lion TV. Right on there, you can become a member. There's plenty of tiers where you can sign up. And shout out to all the young lions that are in the chat right now. We appreciate each and every one of you. And we're just, we're taking that money and we're doing stuff with it. We're trying to get better gear and just expand on what we're doing, get merch and stuff like that. Like we have right here, these T-shirts that me and Jake have on today. We have on the Young Lion T-shirts.
And we have on matching hats.
Right. We're doing Opposites Day today. We're like, what was the, remember, this is showing our age. Remember back in the day, the two spies characters? One was black, one was white.
Yeah.
Spy versus spy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're spy versus spy. Young Lion edition. Yeah, and if you want to throw a little donation, we have the Cash App right there. You can scan that, John, and send a little donation to the Young Lions, the Cash App right there. And also, if you want to get a T-shirt, these T-shirts are not on our merch store yet because they were just printed up. So if you want to get a T-shirt, we already had some orders come in last week. So just send $20 to the Cash App with the note for the T-shirt note on there. Just put T-shirt on there, and then we'll get in contact and we will send you out a T-shirt as soon as we can. But yeah. We got our website there for the rest of the merch, the Jatan merch, music, all that good stuff. You can go on there and you can support multiple ways. There's plenty of ways for you to support something about, this is a community of people trying to do something positive, trying to grow a different culture of community that we have here, that we've been talking about some real stuff. And it's a part of our music as well. Our music is what inspired this whole thing to begin with. Young Lion is one of our songs. That's the song that plays over the intro. And that's based off of Ezekiel 19 from the Bible. So, it's just something that we care about. We live it every day. Something that we're trying to build amongst each other, our community, and we just talk about these things and just try to bring other people in as well, because we know there's a lot of people that don't necessarily hear people, especially people like us, talk this way, especially our demographic, and we're so multicultural in here. It's rare that you hear us, like, people with our opinion on things and the way we see things, the way we've experienced things. And we've been through a lot of things. We've traveled a lot. We've been around the world. We've seen a lot of things. So all of that just culminates into what this is about. But yeah, how y'all doing? How's everybody doing in the place?
Good.
good. Can't complain. You know.
Stan just had a birthday last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Stan.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you. Thank
man.
you. Appreciate it.
The big 41.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Feels good.
Feels good.
Feels the same.
Feels the same.
Just
doing,
another year.
doing what you do.
Yep.
And it was my anniversary the same day.
Yes.
Because that was the only day the court had open when we did our thing. But so we actually did a little double date, John.
Yeah.
And went to Capitol Grill.
That was cool.
That was fun, man. I had a good time.
Yeah.
Some
me
good
too.
steak.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
That was your first time having dry
First
age.
time. Yep.
Dry
Yep.
age. How did you like it?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah.
Did you notice any difference?
Nah, not really. I would have to probably
I like your honesty.
Back to back.
Yeah, taste
know,
them back
yeah.
to back. Yeah. Probably if it was, I don't know how long they dry age them for too. I got to find out.
I think the
Right.
flavor. Well, I just had dry age. I was telling you.
Oh
about-
yeah, that's right. You just
Yeah.
got some from the
That place.
butcher.
Yeah, and it was like they say over 7. It's at least 17 days aged.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know how I usually salt my steak, and I just use this time. I just use salt
Yeah.
just to see.
Just
And-
wanted to get a clean flavor palette.
And
Yeah.
I made a wine reduction sauce for it,
Yeah.
and I was like, I tasted the steak, and I'm like, whoa, like you don't even need,
Don't need it.
Yeah.
I still had used it, of course,
Right.
but it was so flavorful. I kind of oversalted it.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, because I'm not used to that. I'm not used. I guess it takes the salt more. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it has something to do with that. But I know that most people that recommend dry aging, they do like at least 30 days. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I'm sure like 17 is probably, when you really start noticing the difference. But I know like most people do like 30 days on a good piece of meat, like a ribeye or you got ribeyes, right?
Yeah.
How do
Yeah.
they dry age them? I wonder.
Well, they use most of the time they use temperature controlled rooms. And now they have dry age refrigerators as well, where you can it controls the temperature, so there's no moisture, so it just constantly is getting like airflow. But they also have dry age bags that are like these membranes that let air in and it lets air out but not in, or something like that. The way it works, so you can literally get these bags. They're expensive. It's like $40 for a bag, for one bag, and you can dry age stuff in your normal fridge, apparently.
Wow.
And people say it tastes just as good.
And you can probably only put one steak in each
Yes,
bag.
yeah, you can only put one steak in, because if you don't, if the meat is touching each other, you're not going to get the real effect. Yeah, and I think you need to vacuum seal it as well. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think so. But yeah. That was your first experience with a dry age.
Yeah, it was good. I would get it again.
I had a nicely cooked ribeye, and then
That was 22 ounce, right?
yeah. It's pretty big, man. I put the stories up on my Instagram and Facebook.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people were commenting, "Damn!"
Let me shout out some people. Shout out to John. John John's not here today. We'll leave that alone.
John's on a break, okay?
Yeah. Charlene.
Lena.
What? Yeah, Lena. I see your name. Charlena. Lena. Okay. Donnie, happy birthday. I know it was
Happy
Oh,
birthday,
Donnie's
sir.
birthday too.
Yeah. He said, welcome to Fox Local News.
Donnie is funny.
Ha ha ha. Jeremiah Chase, what's up? Emma, what did you Emma said, was thinking maybe y'all can introduce soccer jerseys for the soccer group. All get black and white and show up Saturday morning.
Get some Young Lion soccer jerseys. Yo, that would be fun. That would be cool.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, we could do that.
Shout out to Stephanie. What's up, Stephanie? And of course, Mom.
David Jameson.
Yeah, I always read Charlena, and then I'm like, Lena. It's Lena. Like, just change your name on here, Lena.
Donnie said, sounds expensive. not when you work for Fox News, bro. You get a little budget. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you should hit up your MSNBC people.
Yeah.
Figure out why you can't.
So we need a higher budget.
No, but
Again, Lena says, "I wish I liked steak." How don't you like steak?
steak. I could eat steak
Steak
every
is
day.
amazing. Maybe you didn't have a good steak, because there's definitely like there's all kinds of cuts.
I think I could seriously eat steak every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm with you on that.
I am.
John said the overlay is hidden though. Yeah. We just happy to be up and running, bruh. He said my new graphic. Well, when you get here, when you come back,
if you were here,
when you come back
have
here,
it
you can make
all
sure your new graphic is up.
worked out.
Yeah.
Is it still there?
He
Is
made
that what he's saying?
he made a new graphic today, and he was showing me how that he did. He made one that's like it. I think Rachel, if you go to like the top layer and you click on the left one. Yes, that one right there. There you go, John. So he's excited about that because it like cycles through all the different social media and website stuff.
Yeah, that's nice.
So there you go. It's up now. Lena said Facebook won't let me. They forced me to identify myself. Facebook went FBI on me and told me I was only allowed to use my government. Stephanie said same steak every day.
Yeah.
Stephanie, thank you for sharing, because I know that because it says sharer
Right.
over your name. So guys, share please.
Donnie's never says sharer. Donnie can't admit to his friend group that he watches us, because then he would get disowned.
He can't admit to his liberal teachers.
Yeah. He would get disowned. Yeah, anyone who doesn't agree with the liberal ideas is automatically Fox News.
Idea of the day, because they change,
Yeah.
every day.
So you guys hear about like what's going on with these China lockdowns?
No,
No?
I haven't heard. Nothing.
I've heard. It's crazy.
But I just heard today that when the kids come back from break, they're gonna have to wear a mask.
They're trying to bring that back there. I know in Philly, they brought back indoor?
Yeah, mask mandate. But it doesn't.
Same thing for a week. 1 week they gotta wear it when we come back from spring break.
For 1 week?
Yeah, I think it's just as like a precautionary thing.
Like everybody's coming back from break and they thinking, everybody gonna have the heebie-jeebies. So it's like, okay, well for 1 week since y'all wild out, wear a mask.
So like spring break. But I think it also has to do with like numbers are
going
spiking
back
a little
'cause
bit,
of the
right?
new HB2 or whatever it's
Right,
called.
right. So in China, I know that like they are trying to get to like this zero COVID policy.
Will never happen.
So they're like getting super strict with their lockdowns. So over the last couple of days over Twitter, all you're seeing is like people posting these crazy videos in China, which I have some of them. So I'm gonna get into some of that. But it's just like crazy stuff. Like, they're confiscating people's pets. They're locking them in their apartment buildings. They're
You
like,
see they fighting back? They're starting to fight the cops back now.
yeah, I saw
They
that.
beat some cops.
Yeah, people are getting into fights. Like people are like going around begging for food because there's food shortages, like all kind of crazy stuff. And this is in Shanghai now. I know it's like really bad right now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. But before we get into that, we gotta do what's new with Uncle Joe.
Uh-oh.
Just for you, Donnie.
Own up to it.
No, you know what? Before we do that, I'm gonna do this for Donnie. Okay, I have a video here that was going around on Twitter, and it's from Trump. It's about Trump from a few years ago when someone asked him about if he ever asked God for forgiveness. You know what I mean? And someone posted up, Anomaly posted it up, and he was like, "Be honest, does this sound like someone who actually believes in God?" Trump admits he never asked God for forgiveness. Now this is a crazy like the way he answers this question And like I always found it funny when you would find like Christian conservatives that would just be like, you know, this is a godly man of God and God said, and you know what I mean? And you would see them bring him up, and the evangelicals would bring him up and told him like, oh, he's just, you know, he's just this amazing, you know, Christian man. But let's watch this and watch how he answers this question because it's kind of funny.
So we've got people lined up for questions. I just got one more because you used the word Christian. Have you ever asked God for forgiveness? That's a tough question. I don't think in terms of I'm a religious person.
Because you know, because you know Trump's ego is out of control, right? So in order for him to ask God for forgiveness, he has to admit to being wrong to something, right? And so he can't do it. So he's like, that's why he's like, that's a good question. Let's watch how he continues.
Shockingly, because people are so shocked when they find this out, I'm Protestant. I'm Presbyterian. And I go to church, and I love God, and I love my church. And Norman Vincent Peale, the great Norman Vincent Peale, was my pastor. The Power of Positive Thinking. Everybody's heard of Norman Vincent Peale. He was so great.
Do you know who that is? I don't know who Norman Vincent Peale is.
I've heard the name, but I'm not familiar with it.
Okay.
He would give a sermon you never wanted to leave. Sometimes we have sermons, and every once in a while we think about leaving a little early, right, even though we're Christian. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, Frank, would give a sermon. I'm telling you, I still remember his sermons. It was unbelievable. And what he would do is he'd bring real life situations, modern day situations, into the sermon. And you could listen to him all day long. When you left the church, you were disappointed that it was over. He was the greatest guy. And then, you know, he passed away, but he was a great, he wrote The Power of Positive Thinking, which is a great book. But
didn't answer. Yeah, didn't answer the question.
Hit him with the spit.
He just went and told, and then goes on a whole rant about how like normal pastor stuff is amazing. Like he brought in modern day stuff into the sermon. Like I just thought it was funny. Oh, wait, well, watch. This is when the dude doesn't let it go. He's going.
Oh, he goes
have
back
you
to.
ever asked God for forgiveness?
Was this in before the election? I guess.
I don't.
Seems like it's from 2016.
I can't tell. It probably was during the 2016 campaigns.
I'm not sure I have. I just go and try and do a better job from there. I don't think so. I think if I do something wrong, I think I just try and make it right. I don't bring God into that picture.
I don't bring God into that picture if I do something. Like, so this is what I get from that. Like, because people are like, oh, how can this guy be a Christian? That seems like someone who is surface level understanding of Christianity. And like really doesn't dig in, doesn't have a real relationship, but just like, I mean, who knows what his relationship is or what he truly, like, if he really does have a heart for God. Maybe he does, but when that's your view of asking for forgiveness, it's like, what pastor were you sit? Like,
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it matters. And especially because, like, look at our Christians.
oh,
You know?
dude, I agree.
Not to say that they're, you know,
We just showed a clip of Will Smith sitting there with what's his name, talking about faith.
Oh, the-
Yeah,
yeah,
Other
yeah,
pastor.
yeah,
and it was complete
yeah.
twisting. But for Trump, I feel like it's more of a, and we talked about this, and I don't want to go.
Lena said he's Christian adjacent.
I don't want to go deep into this, but it's like God can use you. You know what I mean? For something, and I believe God uses a lot of people who aren't Christians because Christians are too in their box to do it.
That's
You know,
true.
Christians who are able to do it won't do it because they're too in their box of thinking.
Or they think it's got to be something done in the church all the time.
Right. So he has to go outside of that box to get things done. And it's all in the Bible. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, he used a lot of people that were not
Imperfect people.
Jews, you know, to do stuff for to make things happen.
Yeah.
You know. So I think Trump is that type of guy, and who knows, he might come to really know God, you know,
Yeah.
and build a relationship.
I just find it funny because there's so many people, especially that I've seen throughout the Trump years, that especially Christians, like that would just be like, "This is a Bible reading," you know what I mean? This
Yeah.
is like they just attached him to this idea of like this is a godly man.
Yeah. Well, that's the issue with a lot of the, especially like the hyper like charismatic.
Yeah,
Like it just turned like God is doing this, and it, like God said, and then people are like they put their hands on their head. Here we go again. Like,
yeah,
and that's why the prophetic got such a hit, you know, in the 2020.
oh, definitely. Because how many people prophesied that he was going to win again?
Yeah, and I think people get caught up in the like pedestal type stuff, like putting people up or looking at them in a way that they shouldn't be looking at them.
They
You
keep
know what I
looking
mean?
for someone to save them.
Yeah, and like whether it's a pastor or, I think that's an issue in the church that needs to be dealt. Like
Yeah.
I think it's being dealt with everything that's happening.
Right.
That it's more about trusting God.
Yeah.
Are there leaders? Yes, but those leaders should be laying their lives down first. Those leaders, really, the leaders are just the ones who
Point you back to God.
they're gonna point you to God, but it's because they did it 1st.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they had to do it first. Like people who where there's breakthrough, it's because they had to do it. Like even think about what we do with creativity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like when something is being created, it's out of nothing, but it's coming from somewhere, obviously spiritually.
Right. You're grabbing it from somewhere.
But you're breaking into things like concepts, like, and that's why we're always. I know me, like sometimes people don't know what the heck I'm talking about because
Yeah.
I'm always like in that like thinking mode
Yeah.
where I'm like
You're
processing,
conceptualizing things.
new
Right.
things and new ways of seeing things.
Right.
So, and I love being there, but at the same time, that's not always relatable to
Right.
people. So,
Right.
you know, what I mean?
Sometimes you got to ground it back. Like, all
Right.
right, this is what you mean by that, right?
Right.
Yeah, I always see that. You know who does that a lot too is Jordan Peterson. Like when you see him talk about ideas, a lot
Yeah.
of times he's working through it as he's saying it, and
Right.
he's like discovering things. And you know, you tend to lose a lot of people like that.
Yeah, definitely. So there, but that's needed. You know what I mean? But
Absolutely.
it's not needed for everybody to be that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because then it just becomes boring.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I think it's just been twisted to where somebody gets something, somebody gets a great revelation, or somebody does something, and it's like people are looking at the, you know, what they did instead of looking at where it came from.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Moan said God can use you, but Christian community pinned him the savior of America. Oh yeah. Some of them still believe like, oh no, you don't understand like what's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know, he's about to get reinstalled. Like you always hear them stories.
Yeah.
Like, he's about to get reinstalled they had William Barr, they had all these people that was going to come in and what was the dude, the lawyer that everyone was thinking was going to come in and expose everything.
Trump's lawyer.
No, it was some independent guy. I forget his name.
Dershowitz?
No. He was investigating the election,
Oh, I know.
and he raised all this
Yeah.
money. He became
Not Sidney
Rittenhouse.
Powell, right?
No.
No,
What was his?
It's a dude.
I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
you know what I'm talking
But basically, he was like not.
about.
He wasn't doing what he
just
was
leading
saying.
people on.
Yeah.
Like, same thing with Sidney Powell, the Kraken.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's so funny, man. Stephanie said, "Yeah, but let's face it, God is going to face an antichrist. Who is that going to be?"
I
I
don't know.
don't know.
I don't know.
Lena said he's Christian adjacent. Yeah,
What did Donnie said? Where's that at?
he left,
left
early,
early,
so he
so-
never got it.
Hey, but you know what? Well, like we were just talking about that. He might be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he might be back.
No, he's talking about he left church early because he said that in his little thing.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, but listen, you know, they do the same thing with Joe Biden. They do the same thing, right? They told him up as like this Catholic,
Oh, yeah.
this devout Catholic, but at the same time, he's over here talking about how 8-year-olds should be able to choose their gender, and he's
Yeah.
talking about abortion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I
Like,
think that's different. Because I've heard Trump on occasions, like, he actually say, like, yeah, I don't read the Bible enough. Like, I've heard him say stuff, like, where he don't know stuff, This is different. But, like, the thing with Biden, I remember Clinton was, like, a big, like, they used to try to act like they were Christians.
Yeah.
Bush, too.
yeah,
You know what I
Obama
mean?
too. Obama too.
Oh, Obama,
That-
yeah, especially at first.
That was because you know why? Because for so long in this country, the evangelicals was a voting bloc. They were such a strong voting bloc, and for the most part, they will vote Republican no matter who, which is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Especially when you look at Bush and you look at Bush and you look at you know what I mean, like what these people were really about. I mean, it's just dumb to just be locked into vote one way no matter what. Any way you look at it.
Yeah. Emotions.
Yeah.
And the one clip that I gave you is kind of about that. Like, I'll talk about it later, but
Yeah, I think that puts the responsibility back on you
Yeah.
to look at who you're voting for.
Do
now.
some research.
Yeah.
Figure
Yeah.
out like what are they really about? What's their record show? Like what
I think people get more fired up about what they hate than what they love.
and that's kind of what that clip was talking about. Yeah. People tend to congregate around like, well, we hate the same person. You see that happen with like friend groups too, right? You ever notice that, like how women will become friends because they all got like done dirty by a dude, like the Tinder swindler documentary, right? Like all of them girls like started to become friends because
I didn't see it. But
Yeah.
but it's like based off of
yeah,
who
it's
we
the
don't
victim.
like. Yeah.
It's we come together because we're victims, right? And then we get strength out of that, which is not a real thing. It's an appearance of a thing.
Stephanie said Biden is a puppet. Well, I mean, we know he's not. We know he's not. He's not able to do much. So, it is apparent that, I mean, especially those clips we showed last week when Obama came to the White House.
It
Boy,
was all over him.
yes,
Yes.
it was
finally.
like Biden just disappeared, bro. Matter of fact, let me get into some of this what's new with Uncle Joe stuff. First, I got to show this clip because this was just hilarious. This went viral on TikTok, on Twitter, on everything.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping.
What?
I will
let's
take
play
anything
that
Trump
again.
said bad over that.
Let's play that again.
Even the stupidest rant that
Yo,
he went on.
Because you know how
Over
crazy
that.
we look to other countries, man.
Oh my god.
And I'm gonna get into it because like Saudi Arabia,
I was gonna say Saudi
they
Arabia
did a
did it.
parody of Biden and Kamala, bro. Like they just
Oh wow.
we look stupid. You know, like hold on, let me play it again. Cause this is every time this dude needs to talk, it's like
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping.
What are you talking about?
What?
oh
The
man.
foothills of the Himalayas.
A single word. A fudging and a
Yo.
America can be. First of all, like,
Is that
yo,
part of a
is
song
his-
or something? I
But
don't-
what's going on with? Can we talk about how like are his eyes ever open anymore? Like, just look at him, please. Just look at him here through this whole clip. Like,
The
dude,
sun's in his eyes,
he's.
man.
I was gonna say it's bright
Come on,
out.
man. It's bright out. It's a lot of sun. Dude, his eyes never open once through the whole clip. His eyes are closed the whole time. And then like he always has that the way his canter now is always like he's tired and catching his breath. But America can be defined with one word. Okay. All right.
Ain't right, man. It's not right.
All right.
And they keep sending them out there.
So then this one went viral too, because we all know now that they let's talk about how the Hunter Biden laptop,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Now we all know that now that it's looking like there's going to be some charges brought. They have to admit that it was real at this point. So now everyone's doing stories on it. Everyone's really slow rolling like their opinion on it and trying to act like
1.5 years later.
1.5 years later, after it was completely suppressed and taken down from social media, you weren't allowed to talk about
New
it.
York Post
During the
story, during
end
the
of-
election.
Yeah.
The New York Post got taken down. They got banned from Twitter. Anyone who posted a link got banned from Twitter
You
to the
couldn't even
article.
send the link in personal messages.
Yeah.
They started suppressing.
Yeah, the craziest stuff that we've ever seen as far as like censorship. You know, almost China level.
Oh, it
Type
was.
stuff.
I think worse. Well,
So now we're finding out that that whole thing is verified. The whole thing is real. There's
and it's been verified all along.
all along. The FBI's had it
Yeah.
for a long time,
Yeah.
and apparently it's worse than we all think.
Yeah.
But anyway, so someone juxtaposed Biden talking about the crack epidemic and his crime bill and what it was going to do to people who have crack with a video of his son smoking crack and how nothing ever happened to him. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to play that real quick.
If you have a piece of crack cocaine no bigger than this quarter that I'm holding in my hand, 1/4 of $1, we passed a law through the leadership of Senator Thurmond and myself and others, a law that says if you're caught with that, you go to jail for 5 years. You get no probation. You get nothing other than 5 years in jail. Judge doesn't have a choice. Under our forfeiture statutes, the government can, take everything you own, everything from your car to your house, your bank account, not merely what they confiscate in terms of the dollars from the transaction that you've just got caught engaging in. They can take everything. I don't care why they become a sociopath. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society. They are in jail, away from my mother, your husband, our families. So I don't want to ask what made them do this. They must be taken off the street. If you
Very adamant about that. Back in the 90s there. Very, very adamant.
First off, like 5 years though
Dude.
for that.
And listen, now when you talk to any of the woke professors, like the ones that we show on here sometimes, going into the crime bills and how it disproportionately affected black people, especially in the inner cities, especially this specific thing, where if you got caught with that same amount of cocaine, powder cocaine, as opposed to crack, you got way less time. So who did that disproportionately affect? It affected black people.
Right.
So a lot of black people went to jail because of what he's proposing right here. But did it affect his son the same way? No, of course not.
Remember, he told you.
Yeah, he
You
told
don't
you.
vote for me, you ain't black.
You ain't black. Yeah, Donnie, remember that. Remember that, bro. Yeah, but and listen, drug addiction is a problem, okay? Like, not making light of that at all, but it's just the hypocrisy of like he's so condescending, and you know, Dave Chappelle does that joke now about how now that white people are addicted to drugs, you know, I get it. I don't care either. You know what I mean? He's like, just say no. What's so hard about that? You know what I mean?
But and that's what's crazy because he said it in there. He said, you know, I don't care why that's happening. We just want them
Off the streets.
So it's like,
I don't care what happened. I don't care. Listen, he said he don't want his children in a racial jungle.
but
Yep.
can we, like, there's always a reason why these things are happening.
Yep.
Why would you not want to pay attention to that? And this is like, you have somebody who's making laws like this, And this guy is the same dude, like, who's doing this stuff now. Like, do you hear him talk when he actually, you can actually understand what he's saying?
Yeah.
Like, he's prideful as hell.
Yep. And he still he still takes credit for this bill and still backs it like it was a good idea. Mm-hmm. When they asked him about it, you know, even to this day, he still defends it.
Yeah. He tried to say, "Oh, I made mistakes during the campaign. Yeah, I made mistakes, but no."
Donnie said, "I guess I'm not black, bro. You know you voted for him. Stop it." Simone said, "You ain't black." All right, let me see what else we got. Oh, this was the clip of them parroting. Now, this, first of all, I just gotta say something. Like, comedy in other countries, I don't get it. It's not the same. You know what I mean?
Right.
But this is what they think of our country.
Culture, man.
Thank you very much. Today, we're going to talk about the crisis in Spain. Yeah, we're going to talk about the crisis in Africa. Yeah, Russia. And I want to talk about the president of Russia, Putin. Putin, listen to me. I have very important message to you. The message is, and the president of China, I didn't finish Russia.
No, sir.
Thank you to correct me, First Lady.
Damn.
Thank you very much. God bless you. And God bless.
Thank you all. Hallelujah. Clap to your president. Clap to your president right now.
Terrible sketch. Like,
It's pretty bad.
dude, pretty bad, right?
I'm laughing because it's horrible.
It's horrible. But what it does show is like, yo, this is what the world
Everyone
thinks
sees.
of this country, of our leadership. This is why you have people not returning phone calls. This is why you have people not scared to invade countries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stephanie said, but Biden says, give him some crack pipes. It'll be okay. Yeah,
That's
right.
yeah, literally
That's right.
Gave him to my son. I mean,
yeah. Yeah. Mon said corny. Yeah, that was horrible. I just saw it and I was like, yo, how do they have the audacity to be throwing jokes at us, man?
What happened to SNL, man? They were so great on Trump.
Yeah.
Making fun of Trump with Travolta.
Dude, not Baldwin, Alec Baldwin. But yeah, like they don't have a ton of material now.
they have a ton of material. They just choose not to look that way.
Right.
Look away if it's not there. What's that? Elizabeth, the Theranos woman.
Oh,
we were talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Just pretend it's not happening.
Pretend it's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah, but for Saudi Arabia to have the audacity to be throwing shots at America like that, bro.
That's who's not calling back, right?
That's what I'm saying. And like, yo, everything we've done for that country, like, yo, you're not allowed to have jokes. You're not allowed. All right, we played that. All right, so I wanted to show this. Andrew Schultz did this little sketch talking about China today on his podcast. So I'm going to play that first, and then I'll get into some of the creepier stuff on Twitter. But this is more comically based. But he does like address it in funny ways because he throws shots at our government, throws shots at them at the same time. He's coming from the angle of like someone who is trying to praise China or defend China. You know what I mean? Okay. Because he wants to make money there. Like he's playing into that character. Okay. You know what I mean?
I actually just got back from Shanghai, and they told me I could return to America as long as I tell the truth. My name is Andrew Schultz, and I loved the Chinese lockdown. All right? Let's clear up some misconceptions. Are children being separated from their COVID-positive parents Absolutely not. The only way China takes kids away from their parents is with a vacuum. Also, what type of country separates their children from their parents? That's disgusting. The media is saying China used their military to force citizens into isolation. Bullshit! The Chinese government would never do that unless you're Muslim. Oh, and you know what? I misspoke. Unless you need to learn how to be more patriotic at one of their totally awesome patriotism camps. Now, what about this video of people screaming from their balconies?
It's a real video,
Hey,
by the way.
racists, that's not screaming. That's singing, okay? They're not very good at it. In the entire history of China, they've had like 2 hits. William Hung drooling on American Idol, and I've been working on the railroad. Oh my God. This video of a drone flying overhead telling people to control your soul's desire for freedom. Guys, this
Dude,
wasn't
it's
even
real.
in China. This was at Will and Jada's house. And the empty fridge on the balcony pic. Pure propaganda. First of all, every college student in America has a fridge that looks just like that. No? You don't believe me? Let's go to our expert geopolitical analyst, Sagar Anjeti. He's going to confirm everything that I'm saying.
Schultz, what the fuck are you talking about? The situation in China is terrible. People are literally
Cut that off. Mark, cut that off. Guys, sorry about the technical difficulties. We'll get back to Sagar in a second.
Yeah. So he went on this whole rant about it. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that he was talking about in there is real. Like those are real clips on Twitter of I'm going to show some of them of like what's going on over here. This one right here is one Stan was talking about where they're fighting back against the police. Cuz they're confiscating people's pets.
Why?
Because apparently like cats can spread COVID or something like that.
That's a dog, isn't it?
Is it a dog? Well, I think if someone tests positive for COVID, they take your pet because they're going to quarantine you and you won't be able to. They put you in like these quarantine hotels. So you won't be with your pet. So then they put your pet down. All right, let me go to the next one. Oh, this is the one where they're fighting back right here. Because they're literally like arresting people with COVID, sending them to these quarantine hotels.
But is it even that bad over there? Like
they want to get to zero COVID.
For what?
Because they had a little spike, they had a little surge right now. So they were like, their policy is to try to get to zero COVID. So they're just like implementing all these crazy rules.
Just controlling.
So this says IHME lauds China's policy of strict lockdown, starving citizens in their homes, killing pets, and forced detentions, as it will result in no major Omicron surge. Shanghai residents commit suicide. I'm not even going to show this video because it shows people jumping from their building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not even going to show that. But yeah, people are literally jumping to their death, like because they're locked down. This one, somewhere in China, local residents recorded how government officials installed electrical razor wires over the fence outside the residential apartment building to prevent escape during their famine lockdown.
圆岭85栋，开始封了，搞电线啊，全部那个搞线。啊。
So like you can see they're installing barbed wire.
电网网起来啊，不准他们爬出来啊。85栋到90栋。 85栋和91栋，全部封了，电网啊，全部在这里装啊，装这个网线啊，不能爬出来呀、全部在这里搞啊，这些工人。
Crazy, man, crazy. This video right here is crazy too. This one went super viral and got a lot of people like upset, of course, because Americans care more about animals than people. But it's a bunch of like cats and dogs in bags that they just like threw outside because their owners have all been like sent to quarantine. So they just put them in these bags that I guess someone's gonna collect later.
Oh man.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Crazy. This is the video of the people screaming in the middle of the night. Just everyone's just like screaming because they're all starving and hungry. And it says this video allegedly screams from apartments in Shanghai as the city goes through a full week of lockdown where you can't leave for any reason, including to get food. So you're not allowed to leave at all.
No freedom.
This is a little kid here, wrapped up in full
quarantine gear. Wow.
See what else we got. So this is zero COVID lockdown leaves residents desperate for food and medicine. Authorities say now they will ease restrictions after another mass test in China, most populous city. So Shanghai is starting to riot, I guess.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I've seen too.
See, people don't understand. It's like once people start starving and like they're really hungry, like
animalistic.
that's when your authoritarianism is not gonna hold much longer.
It's gonna explode.
Yeah, and then they're gonna take to them streets, man.
It's harder in this day and age.
Yeah, especially in China,
because there was a lot of that happened, like in the rise of the Soviet Union. You know, the hunger.
Yeah,
like in Russia and Ukraine.
Yo, but didn't Bernie say he went to the bread lines in Russia and he actually thought that they were a good thing? Everyone was being fed.
It's a good thing.
This video shows people screaming from their windows that they're starving and haven't eaten in a very long time. It's crazy, man. Crazy. What, like, people don't realize.
Get ready for your fourth shot.
Yep.
Of the never-ending shots.
Yeah, I mean, they're already talking about that now. Boosters. Boosters.
Stephanie said if we don't get a hold of this, it'll be here too before we know it. Before we know what freaking happened. And
yeah,
I mean,
this is why we speak out against this type of authoritarianism. This is why we speak out against the socialist ideas, the things that they keep trying to implement here, because this is what it leads to.
Yeah. If you don't uphold your freedom, you're going to lose it.
Right. That's why when people are like, oh, just wear the mask.
Yeah.
Just get the shot. It's like, you don't understand where that, always complying where that leads. If you just comply with whatever they tell you.
You're complying because you think it's going to get better when it's not.
Right.
If I just comply, it'll be
then
all
it'll
right.
get back to normal.
Nope. You're just giving up more and more of yourself. You know,
literally.
That's what they're trying to do with our kids. Like,
yeah, for real. With this, the now New Jersey mandatory teaching second graders about gender identity and all this stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure something out, guys.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I got this clip right here. This is Klaus Schwab's right-hand guy talking about how human beings are useless and need to be pacified by video games and drugs. Klaus Schwab is one of the guys who is the head of the World Economic Forum, the guy that we always talk about on here he wrote the book about the Great Reset, about how they're going to use this pandemic to usher in the Great Reset, this idea where you own nothing and you'll be happy. And
so everything he's saying, he basically has no love for human beings.
No, humans are worthless. But this is what a lot of these people think. They think that they are the elites and that we are just mindless zombies that are here to either fulfill their desires or be taken out of the way because we're useless, taking up space.
Parasites.
So, yeah, parasites.
In the Industrial Revolution of the 19th century, what humanity basically learned to produce was all kinds of stuff, like textiles and shoes and weapons and vehicles. And this was enough for very few countries that underwent the revolution fast enough to subjugate everybody else. What we're talking about now is like a second industrial revolution, but the product this time will not be textiles or machines or vehicles or even weapons. The product this time will be humans themselves. We are basically learning to produce bodies and minds. Bodies and minds are going to be, I think, the two main products of the next wave of all these changes. And if there is a gap between those that know to produce bodies and minds and those that do not, then this is far greater than anything we saw before in history. And this time, if you're not part of the revolution fast enough, then you probably become extinct. Once you know how to produce bodies and brains and minds, so cheap labor in Africa or South Asia or wherever, it simply counts for nothing. Again, I think that the biggest question maybe in economics and politics of the coming decades will be what to do with all these useless people. I don't think we have an economic model for that. My best guess, which is just a guess, is that food will not be a problem. With that kind of technology, you will be able to produce food to feed everybody. The problem is more boredom and what to do with them, and how will they find some sense of meaning in life when they are basically meaningless, worthless. My best guess at present is a combination of drugs and computer games.
What movie was that where they got on the wheel and they just kept pedaling? And as the longer you pedal, the more credits.
Was it a movie or was it?
That was Black Mirror.
Oh, was it?
That was Black Mirror. Yeah. Where you literally live in a pod full of screens where they just advertise your whole day is just you're on a bicycle.
Yeah, there you go.
You're on a bicycle just riding for credits. And I think the bicycle is used to power everything, you know.
Yeah, in society. I think.
But yeah, it's that idea that like he's saying, humans will be useless. So what do we do with them?
Yeah, and he was also saying they'll be tools.
Yeah.
Like just to be used. And I think that's what's already happening, like with us, we just don't realize it. Like just in a spiritual realm sense. But now physically you might start to see it more. Like in a physical sense as the darkness gets darker.
I mean, think about what he's saying with even just like one generation younger than us. What do they do more than anything else? It's like they're heavily addicted to drugs and playing video games. So it's like, I think it's by design more so than he's trying to make it like this is going to be an inevitable type of situation because food will be so accessible, which it is because obesity is out of control as well. And people will have, time to just do whatever they want. And this is why when you see them trying to implement things like universal basic income, things like that, what do you think that leads to as well?
George says this dude is talking about some Matrix stuff. Yeah.
That's the ultimate version of it, right?
Yeah. And that's what he said, worthless. They'll be, because they have no worth, they have no meaning.
Yeah. No purpose.
So now you'll see like, well, where do we get our meaning from? God, the one who created us. Where do we get our purpose from? And we're starting. That's why you're like I said this earlier. The whole thing in the Christian world about like, my pastor is so amazing.
Yeah.
These people who are put on pedestals. I'm not saying that God doesn't use people, but what I'm saying is that I think it's going to be more of a collective thing in terms of like, because if you think about it, the more exposure you have, like think about Carl Lentz, right?
Yeah.
Carl Lentz cheated on his wife, huge pastor, Hillsong Church.
Have you guys seen that documentary, by the way?
No.
Me either.
No. But was he prepared to be where he was at? Probably not.
Right.
But what were they looking at? They were looking at, oh, he's got a good look. He's got, they're
He's
looking
charismatic.
right.
Celebrities like him. Yeah.
Right. They're looking at the branch, right? They're looking at the gifts. They're looking at what they can use, right? That's actually a demonic way of seeing things, right? Because you're using somebody. But what God does is he makes us useful. That's totally different. He makes us useful. Because now he calls us, like, again, Romans 8, those who are called are justified. Those are justified. He glorifies. If you're called, you're predestined, right? So we were created, like he said, I knew you before you were in your mother's womb. We were already created before we were in this world. He's calling us back to that. That's what he's calling us back to that before we were in our mother's womb, because that's why Jesus had to come, because before we were in our mother's womb, we were with God, right? We were with Jesus, and Jesus came so that we would have a place where we could find who we were before we were even born.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so as we're born into this unnatural world, everything that we were created to be gets twisted and perverted and used in the wrong way.
Right.
And that's why we become worthless and useless. And we always have that emptiness.
Right, because we put our worth into things that are worthless, and useless. We attach our identity to a bunch of things that have no meaning and really don't fulfill you at all.
Right. But for a moment it does.
Right.
And then that becomes our image, right? That becomes the image we engage the world in. Like we judge the world and we see the world through these glasses, right? Through these optics. That has been, it's the image we've been trained into seeing the world by. So we got to go now and deny the way we saw it and take on Christ so that we can see it his way. So then now we can look at the world and see it the way he created it to be from the beginning. But any other way, we're just using everything in the world.
Right.
We're using everything because everything is his, right? So meaning money, food, we're using everything in the wrong way. You know what I mean? We're using people. We're users. So then we are parasites in that way. But we're actually like that because we're just like what we've been used by.
Right.
The spirits that we have allowed to oppress us and use us. Take our life. That's the highest commodity. And that's what they're talking about. Like really the commodity is going to be like Matrix, like it's using these lives to just continue their way of living, these machines, right? Yeah, that's what it's about. Just taking our life. So because if they don't have our life, they don't have anything. That's their value.
Right.
It's in our life, and and it becomes this they'll kill and destroy life.
Right. Because they need us to be the consumers. They need us to do the brunt work. They need us to buy into all the advertisements to desire all the things. Yeah.
We're created. We actually have access, into this world.
Yeah.
And these spirits don't. But they do through us.
Yeah. That's why we gotta get back to finding our true purpose.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lena. She said, earning life. I feel like that's such an unnatural concept to earn every moment of your existence and only pursue happiness that is never long lasting. Yeah. And you see it always evolves into something different. Whatever the grind is, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, that the distraction.
Yeah.
The earning, it always evolves into. I was thinking about when we were teenagers, it was like everything in front of you was about like cars and money and women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now it's like clout, video games, like like drugs. Like it's crazy how.
Yeah. And it all replaced where your focus should be.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
And but that's how we view the world. Because how we engage with people, how we engage with things, how we engage with nature, how we engage. It's all about like people. I'd see somebody who I hadn't seen in a while. They're like, you still doing that little group?
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And it's like they're being condescending.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't care. So,
Right,
like,
right.
whatever.
But if you're insecure about it, then it's something. It's a place where you can be captured. You know what I
Right.
mean? Where it's like, oh, I gotta get on my, I gotta do something so I could, you
Right.
know,
I have now.
so no one can ever say that to me again.
Right. And we we're trying to please some people, but it's really not them. It's actually the hive mind in a way. You know what I mean? That hive mind of thinking, that worldly way of thinking.
Yeah,
you know?
because everyone's always trying to pull you back into that overarching hive mentality, right? So
and it's a little different based off of what culture you're in, you know.
Right. But anyone that strays from that, it's like, no, we got to bring you back in, you know.
Right.
So whatever way, there's always little tactics.
Right. Intimidation.
Yeah.
Fear, seduction.
Yeah.
Any way
Clowning
you can be pulled
you.
back in.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get into that video that you sent, Jake. Now set this up before you do. Let me. I know this is gonna make some noise. This next segment is brought to you by Doritos. Get your bag. This is the classic nacho cheese brand. I prefer the spicy nacho, but this is what Stan brought.
Yeah. They didn't have that. Spicy wasn't 2 for $6.
No, but
that's
up.
pretty high, 2 for $6.
Yeah. Well, not anymore.
Inflation, bro. Inflation.
So this video is this lady. She wrote a book about emotions. I do not. What's the word? I don't condone everything that comes out of her mouth. But I'm looking for another word for it, Jamie. Please help me out. Agree, but I'm looking for.
You don't ascribe to everything she has to say.
And so, but in a lot of stuff, I always try to look for, something that I can grab onto.
It's called chew up the meat, spit out the bones.
Right. So what she's talking about is how people come together based off of what they hate. And we kind of touched on that earlier. So that's it. It's a quick video.
Collective Schadenfreude, when we all get together and enjoy someone's misfortune, is particularly seductive, because I think, especially in this political climate, there's a lot of what I call common enemy intimacy. We don't really know each other and aren't genuinely connected, but we get along because we hate the same people. And so that has a tendency to be very difficult. Nothing that celebrates the humiliation or pain of another person builds lasting connection. So when you find yourself getting that kind of surge of energy of connection with another person around someone else's falling or failing, I think it's an important flag to remember that that is never the raw material of genuine connection. Collective Schadenfreude, when we all get together and enjoy.
Okay.
So Schadenfreude has to do with Schaden. It's German. Schaden is damage or destruction, and Freude is joy. So it's about she's saying collective, which means you come together. So what are we? You look at a lot of people that watch or ascribe to or are followers to a lot of YouTubers or whatever, and they're connected because they hate the same things, right?
Yeah.
And so what she's saying is that that's not lasting, right? it's kind of like the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and that's okay for a while, but that's not going to build a strong binding relationship. That's not really how we join together.
Yeah.
And how we really join together is through love, through admiration. Because now you're seeing things in a different way. But how, especially in this day and age, how people are coming together, a lot of times is off of disgust, disgust, hate, repulsion, all those things. You're looking at, and it's on both sides.
Fear.
Like if you look at politically, it's on both sides. You know, like people are disgusted because of what's going on with the stuff like what we were just talking about. With New Jersey, they just passed this law. Like, you should be disgusted. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that if that's what has me coming together with somebody, that's not the ultimate goal.
Right.
Right. The ultimate goal is love. The ultimate goal is to see where I can relate to somebody. Right. If I put that first, that's more important than trying to focus on coming together with somebody because we agree on the same things we hate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's you see that and I think for the most part that's where you get a culture of like reality shows, a culture of like you were saying, YouTubers who like people will rage watch stuff now where it's like they just want to watch something so they can hear someone talk like that's what we talked about, the Fresh and Fit thing. Like the reason why they blew up so fast is because a lot of their audience was excuse me, a bunch of the like MGTOW incel type dudes that just wanted to see women get yelled at and get told how they're dumb, especially like hot Miami chicks that are like OnlyFans girls, strippers, etc. The type of girls that would just ignore them. They want to see them get yelled at. So this is where their fan base grows because it's just like we're all coming together to watch destruction.
Right.
Like reality TV, Housewives, Love and Hip Hop. We're all we tune in every week to watch the drama, watch it all. Jerry Springer was a big, big reason for a lot of this too. So it's that I think that spiritual idea of we're collectively coming together to watch tragedy. You know what I mean?
And even that's a very weak tribe.
Yeah, because all it takes is for it to turn on you, and then
it destroys everything.
It eats itself.
Yeah, because and you're gonna literally have people turning on you.
Yeah,
over and over.
I mean, how many times do we see it happen, especially like on social media? The ones that are always out here, like Chrissy Teigen, for example. I remember when the cancel culture was coming at her hard after she had been trying to cancel everybody. Then it comes for you. You know what I mean? Because this is like we're all coming together to try to destroy people.
Yeah.
So eventually, it's going to turn it towards you.
Yeah.
Look at your foundation that you built,
right,
or what it's built on,
and it's not deep.
Yeah,
like it's for some like for roots for a tree to stay in the ground, it has to have deep roots. Right? For a tree to last long, it has to have deep roots. For a tree to grow strong, it has to have deep roots. For a tree to bear good fruit, it has to have good roots. And that doesn't happen when your roots stay surface.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I think we're dealing with, a lot of the surface, a lot of the superficial. And we come together because you're black, I'm black. We come together because you're a woman, I'm a woman. You know what I mean? Or I feel like a woman. You know what I mean? You feel like a man.
Right.
Like,
or we hate men.
Yeah.
Or we hate men.
Or we hate whites.
Or we hate women.
Or we hate blacks.
Yeah.
Like, look at the KKK.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We hate women.
Right.
Or,
right. That's the whole MGTOW thing.
Right.
You know
right.
what I mean?
But all these things they're superficial and they don't last. And we've been seeing these things play out on a lot of social media over and over again.
Yeah.
Like these, and it doesn't last. And you have people who rise and they fall. They rise and they fall. And you're seeing this over and over again because it's not a good structure.
Yeah,
right?
like Sam was saying, the foundation is already built on sand. So,
Right.
Stephanie said, if we can come together in the love for Jesus, this entire world would be in peace forever. But that's not going to happen according to Revelations. I am listening for the trumpet sound. Lena said, hopefully coming together against something turns into learning experience and you find commonality in loving something, a cause or purpose to work towards together.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like what you said, Stephanie, I feel you, but to push back a little bit, I would say that the love of God causes us to seek ways to relate to people in ways we have no clue how to relate to people, and only God can do. So literally, like, my frustrations with people in certain things, like what we talk about on here is we're bringing up boundaries. That doesn't mean we're raising up boundaries like this is wrong, this is right, and we do it a little jokingly, but this is wrong, this is right.
Oh, Fear, what's up, bro?
And this is how we see it. But at the same time, I'm looking towards how can I step in and reach people, but I have to. That's where I'm weak, right? Because I'm frustrated. If I'm frustrated, I'm weak,
right?
You get what I'm saying? If I'm frustrated, I'm weak, but I also have to be vulnerable in that. And if I'm not vulnerable, then I'm just gonna be like, well, they need it. That's not going to happen, and you know, people are going to hell, and it's just like, no.
I can't wait. I see that all the time. Like, God, come quick.
Yeah.
Deal with these people.
But
Lord.
my hope is in God.
Yeah.
For his people, no matter what, like they're all his creation. So it doesn't matter if they don't believe it. Like, I'm still going to love them, but I need help in loving them.
Yeah.
That's my point. We always need help. That's where we have to be real. I'm not saying to just love people when you don't have the capacity to do it.
Because that could mean anything.
And you're fake.
Yeah.
You're performing. You're acting.
I want to let everybody know I put the rendezvous link up in the chat if you want to jump on. We'll see if we can bring you in. Just click on the link or copy it into Chrome. And then if you want to jump on and say hi, Lena, Stephanie, anybody who's been like chiming in regularly, you can come on and speak. Say hi. What's up, Ophir? My brother, he's in here. He said, yo, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Yeah, man. Did you guys win this week? George said, remember that movie In Time? Justin Timberlake was the lead, basically a future where time is money and the wealthy can live forever. Yeah, I mean, it was a good concept. The movie it's
pretty bad.
It was a pretty bad movie, but I liked the concept of it, where it was like time. You had like time was the monetary system,
right?
Because what's more valuable than that? You know.
Mm-hmm. Well, according to Kamala, concept of time.
I don't think anyone has ever said, well, according to Kamala, in not an ironic way. Like in an unironic way. Like no one says that.
It's
like
never serious.
Yeah. That's funny. Ophir said, didn't play Nia's no good, brothers. Oh man.
That sucks.
Simone said, "Man, movie, yeah, yeah." It was one of those movies. It was kind of like Elysium to me, where it's like the idea is good,
yeah,
but then they dropped the ball with the storyline.
You know what movie? I was talking to some guys today, and they brought up the movie The Book of Eli. Oh yeah, and bro, that's such a good movie. Like, just in terms of what this guy. He is tasked with something, and he fights till the end to make it happen. You know, and I think that's key. He keeps hold of something. You know, and we find out. You know, it's the Bible. And
great movie.
Yeah,
great movie. Great actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how he memorized the whole Bible,
Yeah.
you know, at the end.
You don't know he's blind the whole time.
Yeah, yeah, until like towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Yeah, that is a good movie.
I don't think it was. I think it was towards the middle you figured out he was blind.
No, it wasn't until the very, very end. Remember?
Really?
Because the storyline
I
is
didn't see.
the whole time. Who's the bad guy? Daniel Day-Lewis? Who's the bad guy?
remember,
I don't remember. But the bad guy is trying to get the book from him the whole time, right? Because he knows it's a Bible.
Right.
It's the only Bible left in existence. So he's trying to get this book the whole time. He finally gets it at the very end, remember?
Yeah.
And then that's when that's when he discovers that it's all in Braille.
Yeah, right.
And then you're like, "What? Wait a minute, what?"
Yeah.
Because they never show that he's blind until that moment.
Maybe I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was an interesting. I thought that was a good movie. I want to watch it again. It's been a while.
Moan said it's unrealistic how he whooped so much ass. Hey man, you never seen the blind masters in them kung fu movies, man?
Come on,
them
man.
dudes could fight, bro.
But that's not the point.
Thousand
Like
eyes.
the point is that he that's the hero stuff. But the point is that he carried out the thing that he was supposed to do.
Right,
You know, that's what really spoke to me. Like he did. That's all we have to do in this world. Like is to carry out what we're meant to be doing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's funny how he thought that was unrealistic, but he loved Shang-Chi.
Dude, don't mess with Moan in his comic book movies.
Yeah, because I was talking about how the girl became the best archer in 5 minutes. Stephanie said, but he should have been out of here at the rapture. Who's she talking about?
In the book of Eli, I guess.
I don't think there was a rapture. I think it was like a nuclear holocaust, right?
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, you guys want to go into I mean, we don't really got to go into that. I got some videos from Libs of TikTok. Y'all want to react to some videos?
That's a few.
Yeah. We didn't really have much else, you know.
Yeah. You don't have to go too deep. But.
Yeah.
You could give me some TikTok
That's some
content.
good, yeah, that's good TikTok
reacting to
content.
TikTok.
Yeah. So first, I'll show you guys this one. This one is kind of crazy. Did you guys hear about in California how they had to basically shut down mail service?
Yes, in San Diego.
No, it was in Santa Monica.
Santa Monica.
Yeah. Let's watch it.
Good morning, Tony and Araxia. Yes, it's a definitely concerning situation here on the 1300 block of 14th Street in Santa Monica, where residents say they have suspended mail service because of the fact that their mail carriers have been attacked or threatened or assaulted. And they say this has been going on for a few weeks now. Even one resident saying they saw mail strewn about the street because a man kicked over the cart and basically threatened the mail carrier with a golf club or some type of bat. So because of all this, the Postal Service here in Santa Monica sent a letter on April 7th last week saying that the mail service will be suspended for this area. About 200 families will be impacted because of this, because it's just not safe for their letter carriers to be out here delivering the mail. Now, of course, residents are concerned about this and wondering why they can't just apprehend the person involved in all this, making the threats.
Because they're not allowed
the
to.
Postal Service, according to this letter that they issued
Not
to the
prosecuting
residents,
no crimes out
say
there.
that this isn't a decision they made lightly, but they cannot locate or apprehend the person involved in these threats. And so for the safety of the letter carriers, they had to make the decision to suspend mail service here in this area.
Have y'all ever heard of something like that before?
No.
They had to stop sending mail. What did they say, for 2 weeks or something?
Wow.
Because
Why?
crime is crazy right now.
Why are you whooping the mailman's ass?
Because they probably trying to get them Amazon packages or whatever they can get. You know what I mean?
But
Like, come on,
I've heard
man.
stories in the past about that, and they never, like, stuff happening to mailmen.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they never did that. So,
it
a little sensitive at the same time.
I think it's probably gotten really bad because these people. Have you
Maybe.
seen like remember the video we showed of them robbing the trains out there?
Yeah.
Like they know that they're not gonna get prosecuted,
Especially in Cali.
yeah. So they
Well, yeah, because of their law, right?
yeah, like they've been really soft on crime as of lately. So
Defund the police.
yeah, so
Dumb laws, man.
Yeah.
yeah, this is what you get. Now you don't get your mail. You know what I mean? And listen, you guys keep voting for these people. Keep voting for these people. All right, let's see. Oh, this is the one I wanted to show y'all. This is
I'm a mathematician.
this is Ben Shapiro.
Okay.
Doing a question and answer. I forget which college this is at, but just this dude is like the epitome of college educated, young, think you know it all type person. Like, watch how he even starts and frames this.
And a physicist here, a double major, and I also just won the most prestigious award in the country to pursue research at any institution I want, the National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship. So I think I'm pretty, qualified to say that.
See this fellowship? Like that, even like the like up and down inflection is just like such a surfer bro.
Most of what you're saying is based on like old data. But my question to you,
I
and so I want you all to like realize
last
that.
month, but sure.
For example, gender identity disorder, that's the DSM-4, bro. We use the DSM-5 now for psychologists to be able to talk about...
I literally cited the DSM-5 in the speech, and it's called gender dysphoria, which is
I
a term
literally
that I
said-
use throughout the speech, not gender
You
identity
sound like a
disorder,
bozo,
which is how it's
bro.
identified
And you
in
get
the
no
DSM-4.
pussy, and you can't even make your wife wet, bro, so what's good?
What?
So
that's called I made myself look dumb, so now I gotta throw
try
some
to
shots.
Do something that
So what's good?
I don't realize it's gonna make me look dumb.
Right. Because this is going viral.
It only works in the place I'm from.
Right.
That don't work there.
Right.
So all that stuff you won,
Yeah.
maybe.
Well, look, that's what he's about to get him.
Number
That's
one,
what he's about
let
to
me
get
just
him
say,
on.
The nice thing about
the
having
real
several
question-
small
the real
children is I don't
question
feel
is,
the necessity to have my
if
masculinity
we're using
challenged
a
by someone
Western
like you.
colonial idea of gender, then why should it apply? If we're using, because the gender binary...
I love this argument. Western colonial idea of gender.
Yeah.
Because no other cultures around the world believe in men and women. No, none others. No other cultures.
I love how they use, because, the flaws of Western civilization, that it just discounts everything else.
Everything. It's all.
Everything else is just trash. No, it's not true. That's not how the world works. Nope. Never worked like that.
Yeah. Go find me some tribe in the middle of nowhere that don't have no access to technology, TV, social media, and see how many transgender people are in that community. Just saying.
Binary is a Western colonialist framework of gender.
You're right. Men and women don't exist in any other culture.
No.
In any.
No.
You're
Think
right.
about Native American.
Nailed it.
Third gender people. I'm not saying that. Third gender people exist in Native American societies, Western African societies, like Southern Native American societies, like Mexico. So in other places that are not white dominated,
And they
like
are
the United States or
incorrect.
Europe. And so you're
I'm
saying
saying
white,
they're biologically
so non-white
incorrect.
people. I'm a mathematician and a physicist. You cannot
So
tell
what
me.
So I have a question.
And also, you're not a biologist.
So I have a question.
I'm 20.
As a mathematician and a physicist, what in the hell do you know about human biology?
And you got
that
your
allows
law
you to
degree from
deny it?
Harvard. What do you know about biology? You got your law degree from Harvard.
And frankly, I would ask another question. If your logic is so flawed as a mathematician and a physicist, I would suggest that whichever institution gave you an award, revoke it immediately.
I'm a mathematician.
Ben Shapiro is so annoying too, but it's just like, dude, what is happening in colleges, bro? What is happening?
It's everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like, if you look, what he just did was he's putting his worth in things that, and he's literally projecting it on himself, on others. His worth is in meaningless stuff.
And he led with, I did this and did that and won this award, so therefore you have to listen to me.
That makes me successful and able to be, I'm an authority now. No, you're not an authority.
Moan said, "Wild Wild West out here."
Yeah, he like dude's coming up in there with a tank top.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
No, a wife beater, not even a
Yeah.
tank top,
Yeah.
a wife beater.
And then he said something about you can't even get your wife wet, bro.
What?
Like,
Yeah,
Like,
I think that had to do with when Ben Shapiro did the breakdown of the WAP video, the Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B,
Right.
and he said something. He made a comment about like who would want who would want that? Like how he said something like that. But so then that became the joke. Like Ben Shapiro can't. He's so corny. His wife can't even. Stephanie said, "Move to Iran, see how that goes."
yeah. Or any of these countries.
Lena says, "So wait, people can't be arrested for these crimes, obvious crimes." Oh, you're talking about the yeah. I mean, listen, there's so many videos. I don't even bring them up. I don't even send them to y'all. I see videos every day, nonstop, of people just going into stores in California, especially. They literally just walk in and just start loading up bags, trash bags. Just emptying the shelves, and the employees just watch them do it because no, who's gonna do anything?
Only, sometimes other shoppers try to grab the bags.
Yeah.
But even that, it's not doing anything.
But so
what's gonna happen?
Think about this, like just on a small sense, like this is basic stuff, and this is how life works. Like you have your own body, right? Your own body is a house. It houses you, right?
Yeah.
If somebody attacks your body, if I punch Stan, I'm coming at his house, right? I'm a threat. If I'm this close to Stan, he'll be like, oh, what are you doing? You know,
right.
you have to, there's a protection thing that goes on. That basic thing we don't get, like they're going into places and people can't even protect what's theirs, right?
Yep.
You're allowing somebody. It's like allowing somebody to come into my house, right, and take whatever they want, and I have no ability.
I mean,
to stop
New Jersey
them.
is pretty much like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
New Jersey is pretty much nothing you can do.
Think about it.
You know, there has to be like
But-
a specific situation where you could actually do something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Like you can't, if they're retreating, you can't.
Yeah.
You're talking home protection.
Yeah.
Normally gun.
Yeah.
You can't shoot them in the back if they're retreating.
Right.
You have to present that you're in immediate danger.
Right. If you have the ability to flee, then you can't shoot.
You can't. Yeah.
Right.
Right. But it's still, you know what? I'm not even gonna go there with that because we can get in the weeds. But my point is that what these laws are doing is they're allowing people to have less and less respect for authority, and then.
And for other
everything
people's
breaks down.
houses. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, just for authority, right? Just for like parents. Think about it. In the same places, California, it's the same places where, like the dude you just showed, he's probably disrespectful to his parent. The way he's talking to Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if he's not, his parents are going to see that. Like, what's wrong with you, boy? You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no accountability like there used to be. Even in
Yeah.
a church, like
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
You're not accountable like you used to be. But
Yeah, there's no
You're not
concept of
upholding-
respecting your elders anymore.
yeah, there's no respect. There's no honor.
Yeah.
You know, and there's no appreciation, right, for what people do. And like, think about how much goes into this country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how much, like these people who get to go to school and they're all these things happened for you to even do
To have those privileges.
what you do and be able to think these things that you even think, right? And then it's like, that's why to me it's like you don't get, like if you're in my house, you don't get to think that way,
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't get to talk that way. You don't get to know because I provide this place for you
Right.
to live, right? So I'm gonna let you think the way you want to think. But you see now, it's like, oh yeah, are you, honey? You're 8 years old? are you transgender?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel?
Yeah. You feel like a girl.
I'm gonna. What's going on with you? You know, is this okay? I'm gonna let you decide. Is this how you want to live your life?
At 8 years old.
Like,
Lena said, real quick, she said, so wait, what happened to the crime laws in Cali? I'm mad confused. I mean, basically what they've been doing is taking away penalties for certain, I think if you shoplift and it's like below $1,000, they're not even gonna, it's nothing.
Yeah.
And then just other crimes, people know that they're not even prosecuting them. They're not arresting people for like misdemeanors and things like that. So people know that they can get away with a lot more now in California. California, a lot of the different cities are the DAs, the mayors, they're all talking about how they're just gonna allow certain crimes to go. So people are just committing more crimes now, of course. Yeah. All right, let me Mon said these laws always protect the criminals more than the law-abiding citizens, just like the gun laws. Criminals will find a way to get guns because they don't respect the law. I mean, did y'all hear about that shooting in New York today?
Yep. Subway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shitty.
That dude wasn't following gun laws. There was,
Right.
New York has so many gun laws in place.
Yep.
There's nothing none of that stuff stopped him from doing what he was doing.
Yep.
But it's not all over the news. You know why?
Yeah. Not until they get the motive.
No.
Or
Yeah, they have to find an angle.
the story first.
Because
yeah.
right now, just based off of his race, they
Right.
can't do it. They
do
can't use it.
Yeah.
They can't use
The
it.
U-Hauls from Philly.
Yeah. Yep.
so they know who it was.
They
have
know his race, and they know
the person. They got a name.
Do they got a name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
From the U-Haul truck.
Okay.
The rental.
Yeah. So it doesn't fit any narratives for them to put on loop.
Yeah,
for
because I
us.
saw the news, and they didn't speak about anything of like, and people were there, so they knew what the person looked like.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you're saying that because now I'm thinking back, like, yeah, they didn't mention anything about that,
Right.
which they usually do.
Because they need it to be a certain narrative,
Right.
But if we find out something that they can use, an angle they can use, then we'll see it.
Yep.
Nonstop.
It'll be on repeat. Yeah.
All right, let me show this video real quick. This is a theater in the UK is advertising a family sex show. They want parents to come with their little kids to learn all about sex, porn, and masturbation.
My name's Mike. I'm artistic director at Tobacco Factory Theatres. I use he and him pronouns. I'm a white man with brown hair with grey bits in. And I'm very excited.
We can tell by looking at
is
you.
coming to Bristol.
Don't be ableist, Jake. That was for the blind people watching, okay? Freaking ableist. How am I supposed to do this podcast with bigots on here, Rachel? Please.
Presented 2 productions by the wonderful This Egg in the past. They brought Me and My Bee and Dressed, and both pieces were completely original, very moving in different ways. They make such powerful work that really connects and inspires audiences, and we're delighted that the Family Sex Show will be on in May. I'm going to hand over to Josie, the artistic director of This Egg, to say a little more.
Hello, my name's Josie. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a white woman with dyed red hair, which is half up, half down today. I'm wearing gold hoop earrings, which are not real because I
Yo,
do
you think I'm joking? I'm telling you, that's why they do this.
This is another
have my ears
level,
pierced.
bro.
I run This Egg, and
Oh
I
my
have been
gosh.
making and producing the Family Sex Show along with lots of other people over the last few years. If you're watching this video, then you might already have, or you might be thinking about buying some tickets to the show, or you might just be wondering why we thought making it was a good idea. Great question. We wanted to make something that came at the topic of relationships and sex in a light way, in a way that would open conversations, in a way that would encourage people to ask questions, and to allow for that space of vulnerability and not knowing and making mistakes. We hope that the show kind of...
Okay, I can't take any more of these people.
Yeah. What?
And
Is this as I'm watching that, I'm thinking like,
Jake's reaction.
is this gonna be the future? Like,
Is
because
this real life?
when you talk to people, they have to announce, especially like, you know how you have people. Let's go around the room and talk about ourselves, and it becomes like, "Hi, my name is Jake. My pronouns are he, him." Like,
I'm wearing a black T-shirt and a black hat, and I have a beard with a little bit of gray in it. It's like
low cut hair.
Low cut hair. Yeah, it's like
what? Come on, man.
Yeah, but I've seen so many videos
Do you know
like this.
everything they're saying is all superficial.
Mhm.
It doesn't really matter.
Yep.
It matters to you, right? It matters to the person saying it, but that shows how insecure you really are.
Yeah.
And it really don't even matter to them people, but it just matters that they look the part that it matters, right? It really just matters to the people who are really insecure.
Right.
But now, because they're really insecure, I gotta play the part because they're insecure. So now, do you see how nobody's ever satisfied and you're just gonna please somebody and there's never any pleasing?
But
It
they're
just
always
gets
going to
worse and worse
continue
and
to
worse.
ramp it up.
Yeah,
It's always going to go next level.
Yep.
It's always going to go next level. Here we go. Ready? Ready?
Next level.
This is trans non-binary elementary teacher says 3-year-olds are old enough to learn about gender identity, sexual orientation, and pronouns.
Hi, I'm a queer teacher, and I 1000% do not support this bill. And yes, I do know what's in it. The bill in itself is just another way to stigmatize the LGBTQ plus community. Kids as young as 3 and 4 are actually aware of their gender identity, even if they don't have the language for it. Also very aware of who they like and who they don't like. Heterosexuality is pushed on our kids on a daily basis at a very young age. Media, through books, the first Disney movie that you saw. To say that pre-K through 3rd grade are not ready for such topics is actually internalized homophobia and transphobia. We're very much ready for these topics and are way more accepting than adults when it comes to discussing these topics. We can talk about gender, gender assumptions, pronouns, all the things. And it is child development appropriate and age appropriate. It's literally created as just another means to other queer people. Basically say that us existing is not normal.
What one thing that Jordan Peterson says is like, what you're doing is so dangerous because you have there's no basis for it. There's no you're going into the abyss.
Yeah.
And you're just making stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
You're just pulling things.
Yeah.
Like he's saying all these things, but where is your basis? You have no basis. You're just making it up.
We all have kids here. You remember them 3, 4 years old?
Yeah.
What part of that age did they care anything about sex, about gender?
They're not thinking about that.
They're not thinking about that.
No. And even if they do say something, it doesn't, like, even if they say something in a weird way, like people, if you think in that way, now you're going to take it in
Right.
that way.
Right.
Right. And then now you pushing that back on them,
Mhm.
the way you hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
But if you talk to a kid, because my kids have asked me stuff and it's like, well, what do you mean? And then it's like, oh, okay, I see. Like you see how they say it. But people who don't care, they want to just,
Right.
wait, this is an opportunity,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Especially like them, the teacher, they're going to push their agenda.
Right.
And this is the issue, man.
Yeah.
It's not completely his fault. I blame his parents.
All right, I got one more for y'all, and then we go wrap it up.
I was on my way to school and had to pull over because I started panicking. And that's because starting today, my school is allowing people to go indoors without wearing masks or any sort of facial protection. And that fucking terrifies me, and it should terrify you too, because this pandemic is not over. It is so far from over. I was on my way to school.
Terrified, bro.
Well, he looks like he's
Terrified.
gender fluent.
Fluent. He's fluent in the genders.
I mean, that's how I look at it.
Fluid.
Oh, I said fluent?
Yeah.
Fluid, yes. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Sorry. Ophir says, Happy Easter, happy Passover. Happy Passover.
Happy Passover, bro. We actually going to get together for that this week.
Yeah.
Mom said, this is what the world is today, like the song from The Temptations. Ball of confusion.
Yeah.
Stephanie said, Bible, that's your basis. Lena said, I don't think my eyes could have rolled any harder just now. Yeah.
And yeah, it's...
I think, I'm just going to say this real quick. Like, when you have social media, when you have stuff like TikTok, when people are seeing that, like, I can get attention from things like this, it just breeds more and more and more and more of this.
Right.
Like, there's this whole space of TikTok where it's just like, I haven't really gone into that on here. Like, we show a lot of the people that are just teaching about gender identities and like all the different weird genders, demon gender or whatever. But there's a whole nother space where people talk about their mental illness. And if you go on YouTube, you can see it. Like, people are like bragging about their mental illness or like using it as a way to get attention on TikTok. And a lot of times they find out that people are just making it up. Like, a lot of these people are making it up. And there's this whole sector of TikTok where people are displaying their split personalities.
Yeah. I've seen
Have
some
you
of
seen
that
that
stuff, yeah.
Like their dissociative identity
where
disorder, where they're like...
Sometimes it looks like they're straight up making it up.
Yeah, and they'll be like, they'll just go into a personality and act like that's like one of their, identities, and then morph into the next one, and then morph into the next one, and like they're what's his name, McElroy on Split, you know what I mean? And they get a bunch of views off of it. And then they find out that these people are just making it up. You know what I mean?
Just to get the clicks.
Just to get the clicks, to get the attention. You breed this whole world of victimhood, like clout from victimhood, clout from being different,
Yeah, and that's what's so interesting about it, because like you look at the guy who you just showed, you look at the one, like they're all fighting because they're victims.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're fighting because they feel they're victims. Like, think about that. They're fighting because they feel they're victims.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, so then you're taking love and you're twisting it. Like, that's the performance.
Yeah.
See, they're fighting because they feel they're victims. They're speaking about these things because they feel they're victims.
Mm-hmm.
They want to get sympathy to look like a victim.
Mm-hmm.
All of these things. So that's a false love. And this has been the marketing scheme of, we talked about this at church, like this has been the marketing scheme of entertainment of the world. Like we talked about when we went on MTV's Top Pop group, like that programming, what's the word for it? The way they set those things up.
The narrative of it.
Yeah, like on all those shows.
Storyline, the backstories.
But I'm saying like there's an order to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's called something that I can't think of it this time. But there's an order to the way they do these shows, right? America's Got Talent.
The format.
Thank you. Yes. Format.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking about. Format. So obviously y'all can see, I'll be like, like, what is that word? The format, right? Of these shows, they're all the same in terms of what's the singing show?
American Idol.
The Voice. American Idol.
Yeah.
A lot of the America's Got Talent. What do? They show you somebody. They might be good, but what makes it better is the story.
They got to give you that 5-minute story piece before you see their audition.
Somebody like
that's what ties you in.
Their parent had cancer, and they just want to do this for their mom that almost died, and she's sitting on the side looking.
That's why I could never get into those shows, because I like you it becomes obvious to you what they're doing the whole time. So it's like, okay, if the storyline is not like heartfelt and it's just like you're watching them say some cheesy stuff backstage with the producer. You're like, oh, this person's gonna suck, because they don't want you to be invested.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's only when they like do this drawn out story and the mom's there and they go into the home life and it's like, oh, this person's gonna be good. Like you start to, you already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, my mom used to love one of them shows. I can't remember, but I remember she came over to the house. She was watching it. This was a while ago, and I'm like, Mom, do you see what they're doing? Like, she's like, because she was like, would I like it? I'm like, yeah, but
Mom's always like, because she loves Star Search. Remember?
yeah,
she loved that
she
show.
loved Star Search.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
4 stars.
But we talked about that even like, but it's that format that gets you to want, it's performance, it's the attention, right? It's the acting. So now you're seeing this because it's how you get a false sense of love. It's not real love. False sense of comfort, love. It's not real love.
Yeah.
Real love is gonna tell you the way it is because I love you. That's what real love is.
Yeah.
And so people think, oh, you're not loving. No, I'm very loving. I love you enough to tell you
the truth.
The truth, how it really is. And you don't want to hear it because you want to believe whatever you want to believe. You know, my kids want to believe whatever they want to believe a lot of times. And I have to love them enough to tell them, you're wrong.
Right.
Why are you even seeing it like that?
Yeah.
Who told you that?
Yeah.
You know how many times I got to say, where'd you get that from? Who told you that?
Yeah.
Right? And they justify it. And it's like, no, I won't let you settle for that. I'm going to let you settle for a lie when you could have so much more, when you could have so much better for your life, you know. But it's soft parent. That's why I said earlier, like, I can't blame him all the way. You know, it's his community. It's what's raised him. It's what's his parents. It's the environment he was raised up in.
Yeah. Soft
people. And that's what's happening. You see so many soft people that are just like, "Huh, are you okay?"
Yeah.
You know, like,
here's a trophy.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. You gotta know somebody's heart and why they feel this way they feel. That don't mean that they're right, and that don't mean that they're justified in acting the way but they still need to be heard. But that's different. That doesn't mean I'm gonna say, okay, anything you want, you're right. No. I'm going to tell you how it is, but I hear you. But maybe you might want to see it this way. You know what I mean? That's what love's about, man.
A couple comments. Lena says, so many concepts and emotions, like reality is romanticized so much that nobody knows what real looks like anymore. Yep. And Stephanie said, I think it's pretty fair, though Aretha Franklin's daughter didn't make it. I think that was her granddaughter that tried out. Also, like Showtime at the Apollo. Mom said she liked Showtime at the Apollo. Oh, she said granddaughter. Sorry. Yeah. Her granddaughter tried out, and I think Lionel Richie didn't put her through.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah. I mean, because she's her granddaughter, she's supposed to just make it. Like, that doesn't mean anything. All right, guys, let's wrap it up, man. We got it. We had a good episode. Thank you guys for watching. Listen, again, if you want to get these shirts, the Young Lion t-shirt, you can throw $20 to the Cash App, put it in the thing, support, get the new t-shirts we just got pressed up. We got white and black. You can see Jake has the black on. I have the white on. And yeah, they're nice. They got the shiny lettering in red, and it says Ezekiel 19. But yeah, also, we got the Patreon. Become a member on there. Sign up. Support this kingdom. Support the pride of the Young Lion. Support what we're doing. These conversations, because the algorithm does not like us. Okay, all of these platforms, we on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube right now, and they all don't like us. So, we depend on y'all to tune in and to share and to like and to support. So if you want to hit the Patreon, sign up for one of the tiers, we appreciate that. And also YouTube, you can hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, the notification bell, all that good stuff. We appreciate you guys for sharing. You can go to jatime.com for music and merch. We got some new music coming soon, and I appreciate you guys for being here.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday again to Stan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And
happy anniversary.
Happy Annie.
Thank
Annie,
you. Thank
Annie.
you. And
What's it, 11 years? Or no, 12 years, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm about to be 11 years. Well, technically, I am 11 years. But.
Yeah. 12. Yep. Yeah, man. Time flies. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. We appreciate you. We love you. God bless. Peace.
Peace.
Young lion, go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah. Go and fight people in, woo. Young lion, go live. Young lion, go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah. Go and fight.